Hello, Trendliner. This is Gene, and today I'm recording a video about Bitcoin. Today I'm showing the trade planning for the next few days in the Bitcoin and dollar market. So today's video is entirely dedicated to Bitcoin and the dollar on the weekly, daily, 4-hour, and 1-hour time frame. This is the plan I have for the market. So if you have any questions, criticism, or suggestions, leave a comment here on the video. And also, you can suggest topics for another video because my idea is to take a comment here on the channel, pick a topic mentioned by someone, and prepare a video about it. So here's a tip. If you want to suggest a topic here on the channel, feel free to post a comment because it's exactly with this community feedback that I'll be able to prepare more content. So stay tuned, good studies, and let's get to today's video. Now let's open up in our analysis the largest, broadest time frame available in the market. And today, within what I trade, the largest is the weekly chart. So basically, in the long term, let's say projecting a year or something like that, I see Bitcoin reaching something over $120,000. So long term, $120,000. That's the target. Then I switch from the weekly chart to the daily chart. Why? Because it will project some entries for the short and medium term today. So working for a few days, at most a few weeks. First observation I see, daily time frame. On the daily time frame, the market has been in a selling movement, and there is support around the $80,000 region, and then at 76, we've already checked that there's support at 80, there's also support at 76. And another important point, the market made a low at the end of February. You can check it here on Contraria, which is from 2021. So Contraria has to be monitored. You know, it's already an indicator we've had for quite some time. Contraria is about to complete 8 years of helping to find these divergent points in the market. So what happens? It saw the low here on February 28th. And when the market made a new low this week, it created the first divergence on the daily time frame. So for those of you who are following closely in the WhatsApp group, we have already successfully started buying into the market and have held a very good and strong long position. That's why I can come here and show activities that I suggested to the people in the Roto Crypto group. And throughout the week, the last trade we had was exactly buying what? Buying EIV with United States dollars, buying Ethereum with United States dollars. If we go back even further in time, there was Bitcoin and there were several important trades that we meticulously set up with the portfolio, and we left the Bitcoin portfolio here to probably have its range activated starting from 85.8. So on the daily chart, we already started buying Bitcoin, buying Ethereum, buying AVI. And what happens is that the movement is still within a consolidation region. It would need to reach 92 on the daily chart to give a good indication so that we can really breathe and aim for the all-time high. But at this moment, the market is still within the consolidation, remembering that the first divergence has already occurred. So imagine now, if by chance the market were to fall again and go down to the region of 74,000 reais, probably it would potentially create a second significant divergence, and then subsequently it would undoubtedly give us a brand new and excellent buying opportunity. And it's precisely this particular selling movement that I am constantly keeping a very close eye on, because if it indeed happens, I will immediately tell the entire group so that we can collectively set up new long positions. And then at that point, we will already have secured a substantial quarter of the group's overall portfolio. Ready? So that if the market drops, we can take dollars and buy Bitcoin, buy other assets. So stay alert to the consolidation on the daily time frame. The expectation is that the market will only pick up speed from 92 onwards, and if it happens to drop, we'll look for a second divergence, which would confirm a new buying entry. Remember, this is on the time frame of 4-hour and daily charts, just like I mentioned earlier. So it really might take a while for this to happen. What works best for the trade? The 4-hour time frame is actually better for trading, because here's what I'll see. I'll see that here point A, which is exactly what I showed. By adjusting here and adjusting the end, I confirm that the divergence also appears on the 4-hour time frame. What happened on the daily chart also applies to the 4-hour chart, the first divergent point. If the market drops now to around 74,000, it would probably mark the second divergence and signal a buy both on the 4-hour and daily time frames. So if the market falls, stay alert because we'll likely have a buying window in the $72,000 to $74,000 range. If the market doesn't fall, what's the best entry point? Most likely only after 91,000 or 92,000. So the market is now at 83, which puts it literally in the middle of the range, between a target where we can feel comfortable, which is breaking 92, or an entry point that's only at 82. So in fact, this is a week to be patient, both on the 4-hour and daily time frames. It's important to wait for market confirmation. And now let's move on to the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, I even joke that people just want to jump in. They want to get into the market no matter what. So I'm going to remove the divergent part here and show the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, the market was in a selling trend. Then it forms a pivot, and at this point, in my view, the main bias is bullish. So I expect the market to break through this $85,000 region. If it breaks through the $85,000 region, then we would have what we call an extension wave to the upside, which is exactly when the market made its first upward move here, then corrected, and at 50%, as we even mentioned in the group, it was a very good entry for a long position. That was today's entry that we took in the group. We got in, then we got out after the news in the group that someone was buying Bitcoin with money from a fraud. So we checked it out, got the idea, and went short. That was exactly the short trade we just took. In this particular context, at this precise moment in time, for those individuals who are currently out of the market, I would strongly suggest waiting patiently for a confirmed breakout above the 85.4 level to confidently go long. For those who are out of the market and want to enter with a bit more risk, you could wait for a test of 82,000 to get in. The two long entries are the breakout at 85.4 and here in the 82 region. What I expect to happen is actually a breakout in the upper region. But remember, what I expect to happen and what actually happens can be completely different, so I can't guarantee that the market will go up. My job here is to take the data and show it. How do we calculate this in a technical way without too much guesswork or trying to predict? I set up the analysis expecting a breakout at 85.4 to go long, and I also showed the analysis for the 82 region to go long. So what happens then? Entering long in the 82 region, let's apply the Fibonacci extension here. And it will show me the following. A target at 87.8. Just imagine, if you look only at the Fibonacci extension, the target is 87.8 when entering on the breakout here in the market. Just to remind you, once again, there's a high risk here because this is a 1-hour chart. The market doesn't have a clear trend yet, but we're already projecting this entry into the market. And on the other hand, if by any significant chance the market decisively breaks the low point here at 79.9, then I am certainly not going to argue with the market's direction. I will just stay very alert and observant. And there's a stop sell at 80,000, right? Sell at 80,000 with a target at 78,500 raise. So the market would break its low and would tend to move towards 78,500 raise. It doesn't matter what it tries to do now. I'll enter buying if it tests that Fibonacci level or breaks the top, and I'll enter selling if on the 1-hour chart the market breaks the 80,000 Brazilian reais region, and then I'll target 78,500 Brazilian reais. In other words, I map out the market, several plans. Whichever way it goes, I'll work with it. And if the market moves sideways, that's not a problem. Here we have an example of how the pool will look inside the market. So here I have a Bitcoin dollar pool, Bitcoin and Ethereum, which by the way just now converted all to Ethereum. There's the Ethereum dollar pool, Aave Ethereum, Aave Ethereum. So if the market keeps moving sideways, that's not a problem. We'll still earn from fees here, just looking at how much has already been generated in fees. In this pool alone, $130 have already been generated in fees, and there's still 74 left to collect, not counting what's still in the asset. Cool, right? We set up the market project. Buy high, the market drops with entry points on the buyer's bias, entry points on the seller's bias, and if it moves sideways, that's fine. The investment crowd will like it because they'll keep earning fees. Remember, in the comments, I'll leave the link to join the Telegram and check out the studies here in the portfolio in the order of the clip. It's been a really tough week with some strong downward moves in the market. So look at that, a very negative week. In February, we had a profit of 2,209, but in March, the market is negative. So let's keep following along here. Remember, everything here is transparent, but you can only follow if you grab the link, join, and in the group, we'll chat about the next trades. Once again, if you have any questions, leave a comment here. If you have suggestions for any topics, also leave a comment because I take comments from here to prepare new content. Happy studying. See you in the next video.